Okay, we're going to show you how to mask something in PowerPoint. This is the before slide, and here's the after with the kind of ocean waves back there being masked out, and then this transition that comes in to showcase 50%. All right, let's get started on the tutorial. So I have a few elements out here already. The first one is this video right here that I've put and just placed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out, go to the Home tab, draw out a shape. And I'm basically going to cover the whole slide. And I'm going to change the color to white. I'm going to move that out of the way. And then I already created this shape circle, so right here. And this is basically the mask, or what we're going to see through. So I want to see whatever this circle is showing is what's going to see through. So I'm going to put it around kind of this area. And at this point, I'm going to right click and bring to front. And now I'm going to move over the white box that we created. And that one's selected. I'm going to hold shift and then click on the circle. And then come up to the top of the menu and choose shape format. And over here, there is this area called merge shapes. And I down click and I choose subtract. And now you can see I've created a mask, which is pretty powerful. I can move it anywhere else. So that's the first thing. The next thing is just kind of a neat way to, almost looks like a double mask, so to speak, or some interesting the way to show your background on there. So I have this right here. I just created another circle, and I'm going to kind of move this into place where I feel like it kind of looks best. And so even though it's really not a double mask or so, if I press play here, it kind of is. If I move this away, you can see where that circle is. And this will allow me to place some data on that circle. So I created, as you can see there, 50%. And now, remember, we wanted to create this transition somehow where it looks like something's wiping down into here. So it's really simple to do. We're going to create another shape here. And I'm going to kind of, because this is going to be masked out anyways behind everything, so I'm going to build it to where I think around 50% is. And then I'm going to come to format shape and move the transparency to around 20% or so. And what I want to do is I want to move this box behind the text and behind the circle, not obviously behind the ocean waves there. So I'm going to bring everything back. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and I can do send back, and then obviously you're not going to see it because it's behind the waves. And if I do it one more time, bring forward, so bring to front, bring forward, then it's going to be right there. And if I then think that it's a little too dark, so to speak, where I'm not seeing the waves a little bit, I can always come over here and lower the transparency a little bit. Now it's at 30%. So that's kind of a nice feature too, where you have control, or if I needed to move this down a little bit more to maybe make it 75% or something like that, I could. But I'll keep it there. And then we're going to animate this. So I'm going to click on animations at the very top. And at this point, I want to choose the wipe effect. And by default, it's going up. I want it to actually go down. So I'm going to choose the animation over here and change from, on the effect options, the property from bottom to top. And then on the timing, I'm going to change it to 1 second instead of 0.5. And then some other elements, I'm going to take this boat here and bring to the front. And I downloaded this from Envato Elements. I have a subscription to this. And then I have some text here, same kind of thing is I'm going to right click and bring to front and move it around about right here. And then we'll go to play this. And so you can see the mask behind and then the square, even though it doesn't look like a square, coming in behind the circle there. And so masking is a really, really powerful technique, and once you start getting the gist of it, you can really start creating some nice ways to show information. Here's another example of a mask. It's a couple masks here that was created in Photoshop. So I'm going to escape. But if you look at this, really, before I do that, is you can see the information on the left, and then in the kind of top right, there is that video moving and it's showing some visual interest, but it's not taken away from the actual data that's on the left. And how did I do that is, if I move this over here, you can see that this is a mask that I've created in Photoshop, kind of like a blend a little bit dissolved. And I just moved it over, and then there's this other mask right here. So if I move both of them away, you can see the actual video right here. And then here's another example. So a nice visual interest in the background. And I'll escape and I'll move things away. So you can see right here, this is a mask I created with the circle and just feathered the edges, kind of like the first one I showed you before on that impact slide. So really, really powerful way to create some visual interest on your slides. And that's tutorial. Thanks for watching.